So we are inside of our URL class. The first method called getParam. We will be passing one parameter here, which will be basically the key which we want to return from our URL. We call it par with the $sign. So return, and now is set. If is set get with this specific parameter, and now this get par doesn't equal blank, then question mark. This is what's going to happen if it's actually present and it's not empty. Then we're basically going to return its value. Then colon, what's happening if it's not present, or if it's blank, then simply just return null. Next method will be called public static function cPage, which will return our current page. So return is set get and self page, which is our page parameter, which means if this parameter is present in the URL, then simply return it. So question mark, if it's true, return this parameter, otherwise return index. It will only if it's not present, then that means that we're on an index page, because none of the other pages has been called. So basically return index at this when this situation occurs. And obviously index is our landing page, so that's what is going to be displayed. Okay, now we need to create another function, another method, public static function get page. And this is the function we will be placing inside of our run method of the core class, rather than statically putting the name of the file. Depending on the value inside of the URL, we will be putting the relevant file here. So if we go back to our URL class, we start with the page variable, and we assign the value of self, our parameter folder. So we start with the folder name, then directory separator after dot, then dot again to concatenate it with our self, double colon, and cPage method, because cPage method will basically give us the name of the specific file, but without the extension. So again, dot to concatenate it, and between the double quotes or single quotes, whichever you prefer, dot php. So this is basically path to our pages folder and to our specific file. Okay, now error variable, which is self folder dot ds directory separated dot, and then in between the double quotes, semicolon after those, error dot php page, which we also need to create. So let's copy this, the name of this file straight away. Go to our pages folder and create this file. Actually, let's duplicate our index because it already has header and footer, and just rename this file. So we have error.php. If we open this file, we can also put the header here, error, just so we can identify this page later on. Okay, so we have both of these files, both of these variables, and now return is file function, which checks whether the file exists, is file page, whether we can find this page. So let's say URL past the page value of about. If this page isn't present in our pages folder, then we will display error, otherwise we'll display page. So if it is, then we obviously return page, otherwise display error. So we know which page should be passed to our require once function. So now what we need to do is to go back to our core. If we copy the name of this method, our core, and inside of our core require once, we remove index.php and single quotes around it, and we type URL class, 2 colons, and we call our method getPage, which will return the name of the relevant file. So, now that we have all this done, if we go back to our browser, refresh the page, you can see we're still on an index page, but if we call any other page, so question mark page, which is the keyword for our pages, equals about, this page does not exist. If we go back to our root folder, you can see in the pages we only have index and arrow. So if we go back, if we hit enter, you can see the error page pops up because obviously this file could not be found. So if file exists, then display page, otherwise display error page. So because it hasn't been found, we can see now our error page. So our structure is now ready. Let's move to the next video to extend our URL class a little bit.